KOCT, its board of directors, staff, and the City of Oceanside do not support nor promote any candidates. We provide the following program as a public service for voters. All candidates have been invited to participate in this program, but not all were able to or chose to do so.
Hello everybody, my name is Rob Howard and I am a candidate for Oceanside Mayor. Over the next few minutes, let me tell you a little about me and my plans for the future of Oceanside. I grew up in the South with 3 brothers and a sister. As a working class son of a teacher's aide and a steel worker, my parents taught me the value of putting in effort and the benefits of a positive attitude, and also the importance of helping others. After leaving home, I joined the Navy, and my final duty station was San Diego. I used my Navy nuclear power training and experience to land a career at San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station, and I've worked as a nuclear operator for 31 years. During my 30-plus years in Oceanside, my wife and I raised our family. I served as a mentor to at-risk youth, I chair my church board, and I am a past president of the North County NAACP. While president, I chartered our North County NAACP Youth Council because I understand that young people need mentorship and opportunity to learn, and they need an environment where they are able to exercise leadership. During my career at San Onofre, I actually went to school and achieved a Bachelor of Science degree in workforce education. I also obtained certification in human resource management and personal financial planning. While at work during my career, I qualified as a firefighter and I qualified as an emergency director. That's the individual that is responsible for coordinating actions during an emergency, covering everything from nuclear accidents to terrorist attacks. Also, I earned 2 Nuclear Regulatory Commission reactor operator licenses. I am currently president of my local union, and I'm an executive board member of the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council, representing over 200,000 working families. I've served on the California Public Utilities Commission's Diversity Council, working with utility and telecom companies to increase diversity in hiring and in contracting and procurement. I've served on the City of Oceanside's Police and Fire Commission, and I am currently serving on Oceanside's Measure X Committee, making recommendations to the mayor and the city council based on our Measure X tax revenue. I believe elected officials are here to make your lives better. To do that successfully, I have to listen to you. I am committed to staying on the ground and to engage in our community. Some of the issues we need to address include development without a plan. We're currently having issues around development, so we need to update our land use ordinance so developers know when they come to Oceanside what we desire to build in Oceanside and what Oceanside should look like. We need more housing, and effectively planning allows us to build housing while keeping our open spaces and protecting our environment. I will address our homeless crisis by getting resources directly to the homeless population. And we do that through organizations that are on the ground and working with the homeless population. I have been out in the field listening to those who are providing services, and they know what works and what does not. Working as a nuclear operator, I understand the importance of facts and science. I've worked with invisible contamination my entire nuclear career. So as we address the COVID crisis, local businesses and their employees need to know that city leaders are their partners. So together, we will focus on safely opening the city while listening to the experts. I believe in the power of collaborative work. With your support, I will bring fresh energy to our hometown council. Look, Oceanside is a special place that deserves a mayor who is not afraid of challenges. I am not a politician. I'm a public servant entering politics. My record will show you that. I'm ready to serve. I will be honored to earn your vote. Go to www.robhoward4mayor.com and join me as we build Oceanside's future today.
Hi, I'm Jack Feller, Oceanside's Deputy Mayor. I'm committed to enhancing the quality of life for all residents in Oceanside, and therefore I'm asking for your vote November 3rd to be your mayor. I have been your councilman since 2000, and I am sure many of you know me from attending youth sports events, volunteering at community events and meetings, church services, and much more. Making our home here in 1987 with my wife Bunny of nearly 48 years, we raised our 3 daughters who are all married and live in Oceanside with our 22 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. I have the in-depth knowledge of the city and experience to navigate the unprecedented times we are living in. The COVID-19 pandemic, homelessness, affordable housing, public safety, increasing city reserves are all high priority goals for me. The COVID-19 pandemic has taken a heavy toll on our businesses and residents. I will continue to support and work to bring forward programs to assist residents, businesses, and our vulnerable senior citizen population. I will work closely with county officials to get our businesses and schools open. For now, please wear a mask, practice social distancing, and wash your hands. This will end, and we will emerge from this crisis stronger and better prepared for the future. The homeless population in Oceanside has grown and understandably frustrates and angers people. The number of reasons why people become homeless make this a complicated and complex issue with no one solution. Assistance is available and easier to provide for those who want it. The most challenging to help are the homeless population with drug and alcohol addiction, mental disorders, and for reasons known only to them prefer to be homeless. Addressing this problem will take a united effort involving all public and private agencies working together. I will continue to work to make this happen. Being homeless is not a crime. Arresting and putting people in jail is not a solution. A shortage of market rate housing is causing home prices to rise. I am committed to providing affordable workforce housing and affordable housing for our veterans and seniors. Oceanside's tourism industry has brought millions of dollars to our city, with new jobs, new restaurants, and new shops to our downtown. Increasing our revenue stream has kept our public safety services strong, made road and infrastructure improvements possible, upgraded our parks and helped build the El Corazon Field of Dreams and the Aquatic Center scheduled to open next year. Our police officers and public safety employees need all of our support and encouragement now more than ever. I will not support any defunding of our police and public safety divisions. Some mayoral candidates claim they are solely responsible for projects which brought change and success to our city, when in fact they voted against such projects. They go on to claim the failures are not their fault, but the city's leadership, which they are a part of. In fact, they have worked to create a divisive climate to derail progress in areas such as affordable housing. To accomplish any of the goals I have listed or anything good for the community will take 3 votes of the City Council. I have the skills, experience, and understanding of the office, and I will treat my fellow council members with respect to build consensus and move our city forward. I have the respect and endorsements from Mayor Peter Weiss, Councilman Ryan Keim, former Mayor Terry Johnson, former Councilman Jerry Kern, and Supervisor Jim Desmond. New commercial business, industry, and housing creates jobs, keeping residents in Oceanside where they can live, work, worship, and play, providing a stable family environment. I'm asking for your vote on November 3rd to be the mayor of Oceanside. Thank you and God bless.
Hello, my name's Rocky Chavez, and I'm running for the mayor of Oceanside. I'm sure you've probably seen me on KOCT before. And you know, in elections, normally people get up here and they start making all these promises. But promises are exactly that. They're just something that somebody thinks they may be doing. I think it's more important to be looking at what have people done in the past, because what you have done in the past is pretty much going to say what they're going to do in the future. So let me give a little bit of my past and things that I've accomplished and what I plan on doing in Oceanside. Well, as a lot of you know, having left the Marine Corps, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was a coach at El Camino High School on the wrestling team. The first championship team they had there in a number of years. And then I was asked by the Oceanside Unified School District School Board, having sat on that board for the commanding general for a number of years, to go build the School of Business and Technology. And I did that. And for 7 years, we had wonderful success with a lot of great students. And at the same time, I was elected to the Oceanside City Council in 2002. And in that role, I made my issue about plan management and transportation and public safety. You know, we dealt with the gangs, a safe community, and a lot of the projects that you see downtown Oceanside are the ones that I actually worked on. And the affordable housing project on Mission Avenue is one of my projects. In fact, you can go to the parks in Oceanside and you'll see my name there, Deputy Mayor Rocky Chavez. Things that I worked on when I was the council member. But in 2009, Arnold Schwarzenegger came to me and said, we need an undersecretary of the California Department of Veteran Affairs. And what is more important in Oceanside than taking care of our military families and our veterans? So it was an honor to do that. So I went to Sacramento. And things we did there that I'm very proud about, we started veterans courts. And it became a standard throughout the state to deal with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. And we also dealt with programs for women, Native Americans. But then in 2012, I went off to become the state assembly member of California. And I focused on things that I started before on education. I grew into issues on energy. And I became very excited about the whole issue about working across the aisle to get things done. In fact, at Maricosta, the 4-year degree that they're giving there, that was my bill to make that happen. And if you start looking at how we need to deal with the current issues of power and energy in California, I was the one standing up on the assembly floor saying, it's okay to go green because I believe in climate change, but you need to do it in a way to make sure you have a diversified portfolio that's sustainable, reliable, and affordable. Those are the ways to make sure California goes forward. And then, when I was in education, one of the things I focused on also was early childhood education. Because I know when I was in Oceanside, young children that come from economies not as rich as others really aren't ready for school at first grade. And so we need to start earlier for those. And I'm proud that I led that whole effort to do it. And then when I came back to Oceanside, the big issue was closing the behavioral health center at Tri-City Medical. I ran for that board and said I'd get it back up. And I'm proud to say we have it back building right now. We've made an agreement with the county to make sure that we have that program through. So I'm really excited about that. And Tri-City Medical has served over 230 residents of North County for COVID. And we have the best results of any hospital in San Diego County. I'm very proud of Tri-City and the great work they're doing. And so, as I started this discussion, people make a lot of promises. I gave you a short list of things I've actually done. And I promise you, if you honor me with your vote to be the mayor of Oceanside, I'll come back and work hard about getting our economies and small businesses going in the COVID environment, making sure we partner with education so all our children be educated and go forward in opportunity. And I'm going to deal with this issue of energy because we need to do a better job. My name's Rocky Chavez. You go to rockyforoceanside.com, that's my website, and I'd be honored to be your mayor. I promise to work as hard as I have the previous 20 years for the next 4.
Hello, I'm Ruben Major, and I'm running for mayor. I'm a paramedic working public health for over 20 years. My wife and I are small business owners and built the largest EMT recertification training program in the country. I'm also part Latino and Native American. I was homeless as a kid and moved out at age 14. I worked my way out of poverty and through college, I eventually earned a law degree and master's in history. I also have training in counterterrorism and I'm a FEMA certified incident commander. My wife and I have 3 children attending Oceanside schools and run an animal rescue across San Diego County. I'm a clear example of the American dream, but I'm afraid that that dream is slipping away. Dirty money is destroying our democracy both nationally and locally. The next mayor of Oceanside will inherit an unprecedented homeless crisis, and many families and businesses in our community are severely behind on rent and mortgage payments. Eviction moratoriums have put off the problem, but it doesn't solve anything if families can't pay when all the past payments are due. Because I was homeless as a kid and worked with underserved communities as a paramedic, I have a unique understanding of housing insecurity. One of my top priorities is to address the homeless crisis. Currently, the law says that if a person is homeless and there are not enough beds in an area, they get to live in public. Police have been ticketing, they've been citing and removing encampment items. Not only is this a waste of taxpayer money, but it actually makes crime in the area worse as those items are replaced. This entire issue has been politicized, but the solution is actually nonpartisan. We must obey the law of the land and provide enough beds for those who are homeless, at which point they can be moved. We can use tiny homes to get us compliant. This could be paid for by donations as well as through grant funding. But our council has either misdirected this money or hasn't advocated for our fair share. For example, with the last HEAP grant, we only procured $200,000, but should have received $1 million. We must start fighting for Oceanside instead of against it. The mayor and council must also tend to potholes, road improvements, and keep the city looking revitalized. We can make Oceanside a happier place to live, and we must also work on cleaning up corruption. Last year, I spoke at the City Council against unscrupulous developers seeking to benefit at the expense of our community. I helped get signatures for the citizen-led referendum against the North River Farms project. I'm sure it would be easier to take big developer money as other candidates have, but I'd rather work for the people who live here and focus on projects that make sense for all of our residents. We can incentivize community building and penalize self-dealing. We also need to get nuclear waste off the beach at San Onofre and take better care of our environment. We can minimize beach erosion, offer electric bikes, scooters, establish an environmental commission to help guide future decisions. I've spent a lot of time with seniors. As a paramedic, it's essential to me to ensure our ambulance response times are less than 5 minutes. Also, rising costs of living are pushing seniors out of our city. I will be another voice on the council who supports rent stabilization at the mobile home parks. Park owners should be required to notify prospective residents about the ordinance and stop blocking sales or face penalties. We must remove the red tape from local businesses and the red tape that they've been facing as they adapt to the new reality. We can expand cannabis and use the taxes to make our city better. We can get through coronavirus, improve our public safety and government transparency. We can bring more and higher paying jobs to Oceanside and local businesses will thrive. Our campaign stopped asking for money once the coronavirus hit. Over the last year, we've built an amazing team. We've reached out to share resources, connect people with support, and sometimes just to check in and see how things are going. This hasn't been easy for anyone. We need someone with a fresh perspective, not people who have sat on council for decades. We need someone who will stand up to corruption, get rid of the fraud, get rid of the waste, abuse, and use our tax dollars wisely. We can elect a mayor who represents the people of Oceanside. We can elect a small business owner, an EMT, public health educator, and champion of the people. I would be honored to have your vote. Again, my name is Ruben Major, and I'm running for mayor.
I opened my dream business, Metroflex Gym, in Oceanside, California. And through the process of operating it, running it, I became part of this community, and Oceanside became my home. Now, I want to make our home better. And I've identified 2 hurdles that we need to overcome to make that a reality. First is we have to really rejuvenate and strengthen small businesses in Oceanside. We have to make it easier for them to be successful and also to move into the city. Secondly, we have to really focus on crime and safety in Oceanside. I want to make sure that crime is no longer an issue in Oceanside, making sure that we're not one of the bottom cities in California in safety, but we're one of the places that people feel very safe and comfortable. When it comes to small business in Oceanside, I ask myself a few questions. Why do we have so many vacancies on Coast Highway? Secondly, why does Carlsbad have 1/2 the population, but twice the revenue coming in? I'm not saying I'm trying to be the next Carlsbad. In fact, I'm very against that. I'm saying I want to be the best Oceanside. Every morning I go to Brown Cup Coffee, and one thing I notice is all the other businesses on the block are vacant. There's no one there. It wasn't always like that. There used to be a Max Muscle. There used to be a bike shop. There used to be a massage therapy school. There used to be a store that fixed the Apple screens and phones on iPads. They're not there anymore. And that's a big problem, because they're not only not there, there's no other businesses moving in there. We have to fix that. We are a coastal community in Southern California, and we don't have every business filled with small business and they're not thriving. That's a big issue for me. During the COVID-19 lockdowns, many of the businesses were scattered. We were confused. We didn't know what to do. The businesses just kind of went along with what the government said and what the mandates dictated. And many of us were severely hurt financially and our businesses suffered. That's why we came up with Unite Oceanside. Through Unite Oceanside, small businesses will be able to work together to strategize their own plan, not only in the best interest of the small business, but also the consumer and the community. Secondly, I want to really help promote more events in Oceanside to try and get people to come there. More people coming to Oceanside creates more tourism, which creates more money being spent in our businesses, which in the end generates more revenue for the city to do social programs and improve our city. Crime. Crime's a big issue in Oceanside. We're not the safest city in California. We're not even close. We're ranked in the bottom 30% of the safest cities. In fact, there's a 1 in 39 chance you will be a victim of a property or a violent crime in Oceanside. So what are the solutions for the crime rate? We have to improve the relationship between the Oceanside Police Department and the community. And that starts with updating their technology. Everybody talks about body cams, but what is it that it really does? Axon body cams are the absolute best in the industry, not only in terms of the actual camera functionality, but in their data storage. What this does is it helps the people feel safe knowing that everything's being recorded, and also helps protect the officer because, well, everything's being recorded. So if you're a bad officer, you're gonna get caught. If you're a bad citizen, you're gonna get caught. At the end of the day, the bad guys are out the door and the good guys are here to stay. So updating technology, that's easy. We can do that. But we also have to update our relationship with the police officers as a community. My father was a LaPorte County Sheriff in Indiana for 30 years. So I grew up with a fond appreciation of police officers, and I still have this feeling. But what can we do about this feeling of this officer's here to catch me versus this officer's here to help me? One thing the Oceanside Police Department is currently doing is they have a youth outreach program. This is where the youth, they ride along in the police car, they see what the daily life of a police officer is, things that they may encounter, dangers they may experience, and they get to see it through the eyes of a police officer. And this is a great program, but it needs to happen more often. It needs to happen so the youth and the parents can have a greater empathy for what the police officers go through, and the Oceanside PD can have a greater understanding of the community that they work in. My father told me that if you're sitting around saying someone should do something and no one does anything, you better be the one that stands up and does it. And that's why I'm running for mayor of Oceanside. Everything I've been seeing and everything I've been thinking about, I can do something about.
Hi, I am your council member, Esther Sanchez, and I am running to be our next mayor of Oceanside. I was born and raised in Oceanside, part of a 5-generation Oceanside family, graduating from OHS. I have a BA in Urban Studies, graduate studies in urban planning, and I am an attorney. I worked for San Diego County, first as a deputy county counsel and then as a deputy public defender for 20 years. You elected me to the Oceanside City Council to be your voice of the people, neighborhoods, and businesses who felt disenfranchised and not being heard. Together we have worked and done so much to make Oceanside a better place. We've lowered the crime rate and in the process built a police department that we can be proud of. with community policing, a workforce that reflects the diversity of our community, and a deeper understanding, respect, and celebration of that diversity. We've built over 1,000 affordable housing units, several parks like El Corazon, Mance Buchanan, and Luceño Parks, created after-school and youth recreational programs, expanded our cultural institutions such as the Oceanside Museum of Art and California Surf Museum, and built walkable communities, blossoming with restaurants known for their chefs and farm-to-table fare. Together we built a veteran center, fought back against the loss of rent control in our mobile home parks by way of a referendum, and protected our senior housing, such as Costa Serena, so critical to our veterans and 55-plus community. Together we fought to preserve El Corazon and Goat Hill as parkland, including creating a senior center, 22 soccer fields, and an aquatic center at El Corazon, and to preserve our South Morro Hills farmlands via agritourism and recycled water, working toward a sustainable vision. Together we passed the only zero waste resolution in the entire county and began the work toward creating a climate action plan, community choice energy, and our own sustainable water supply with groundwater from the Mission Basin Aquifer and with Oceanside pure water. We have accomplished much, but there is much more to be done, especially in our eastern parts of our city where walkable communities and quality of life policies are not being implemented. We need to address the demands for more field space for youth sports, concerns regarding systemic racism, build shelters for our homeless, and affordable housing for our families, and bring more jobs to Oceanside. We need to ensure the redevelopment of the La Salina treatment plant in South O is a comprehensive plan that includes and is supported by the South O community. We need to dedicate El Corazon as parkland so that we can finally get down busy to build the fields we need for youth sports and senior and family programs. Oceanside has the lowest jobs to housing ratio in the entire county. Over 76% of our city's workforce commute daily to job sites outside of the city, contributing to the city's net annual leakage. That's money that should go right back to our businesses and city of approximately $647 million, along with contributing to traffic congestion. While our small business community has historically been the backbone of our city's economy, strong leadership is needed now to create employment centers in Oceanside and reverse the course of our city's economic future, to create a larger daytime population that will support our small businesses and restaurants, and at the same time create livable wage jobs for Oceanside families, cutting down on freeway congestion and greenhouse gas, and creating revenue for public safety and quality of life issues like traffic calming and more recreational programs. In our quest for a more economically sustainable future that includes tourism and destination events, we need to ensure that all local Oceansiders also have a place to play, to dance, listen to music, and hang out with other locals. This is not just about tourism, it's about Oceansiders. It's time for new leadership. A mayor you can rely on, built on years of trust and solid relationships, with a vision of economic and environmental sustainability, a quality of life for all, and the institutional knowledge and record of getting things done. A mayor who will always insist on transparency and due process, and that you be at the table. This is our time. I urge you to vote for the only leader with a vision, skills, experience, knowledge, and passion for Oceanside's future. Vote yes for Esther for Oceanside Mayor. Thank you. For more information about our campaign and to get involved, please visit us at estherformayor.com.